Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Raj Deepak Singh, and as I've told you, this is my new YouTube channel. So, in this particular video, we are going to cover one of the topic of management and ethics, and that is Henry Fayol's 14 principles of management. Okay, so 14 principles of management is given by Henry Fayol. ठीक है, तो हेनरी फेयल इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज हेनरी फेयल वेट सो हेनरी फेयल is one of the person who has given like 14 principles of management. Okay, so in this we are going to cover this 14 principles. So before starting this 14 principle, I just want to tell you that Henry Fayol's duration was from 1841 to 1925. Okay, and Henry Fayol is also called as father of modern management. Modern management. Okay, so Henry Fayol is the father of modern management, who has given 14 principle of management. So let's start the principle one by one. Okay, so our first principle is so before starting from the first principle, let's discuss all the principle one by one, then we will take one principle at a time. Okay, so in this particular so how you are going to remember all the 14 principle of Henry Fayol? So there is a formula, dad UCUSSR. तो डैड आंसर इज OIC. ठीक है, तो व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला? डैड UCUSSR, तो आंसर इज OIC. नाउ हेयर you see dad UCUSSR, तो आंसर इज OIC. Okay, so this is the formula by which you actually remember the 14 principles of management given by Henry Fayol in sequential order. Okay, so for D, it is division of work. A for authority and responsibility, D for discipline, U for unity of command, C for centralization and decentralization, U for unity of direction, S for scalar chain, S for stability of tenure. Okay, R for remuneration, O for order, I for initiative, S for subordination of individual interest to general interest. Okay, and E for equity and E for esprit de corps. So this is the formula which you have to remember. Okay, now we can take one by one the 14 principle of Henry Fayol. So our first one is division of work. So let come to division of work. Okay, so this is division of work. This is the first principle of Henry Fayol, that is division of work. What is the meaning of division of work? Is that you can divide the work in sub work with respect to the specialization. Okay, so it means that this principle suggests that total work should be subdivided into smaller parts. It means if you have total work, then you can divide it into smaller parts. Okay, small parts. Each part of the work should be allocated who is expert in that part of the work. It means that if you have a work and you have divided it in sub work, then each of the sub work is been given to different person who are specialized in that field. Okay, so this is the criteria of the division of work. And the next thing is, this leads to specialization. Okay, this leads to specialization, less wastage, and reduces risk. Okay, and reduces risk. So this is the division of work. So our first principle of Henry Fayol, what he says, that you have to divide a complete work in different sub works with respect to their specialization. It means that this cabin has different specialization of work, this cabin has different specialization of work, this cabin has different specialization of work, and this cabin has also different specialization of work. So this is called division of work. And now combining all these, it gives it like they are doing a single task in multiple sub works. Okay, so this is the criteria of division of work. Now let comes to uh, our second principle of Henry Fayol. So what second principle says is authority and responsibility. Okay, our second principle is authority and responsibility. Now authority means power to take decisions. Okay, authority means power to take decisions. Responsibility means obligation to complete the assigned job on time. Okay, so this is the good definition of authority and responsibility. Now what comes in authority and responsibility? Look, authority comes from official and personal factors. Yani it means that your authority comes from official and also personal factors. Okay, official authority comes from manager position. Means if you have official authority, then it is comes from manager, and if you have personal authority, then it is come from qualities like intelligence, experience, moral worth, and past services you have done. Okay, now authority without responsibility result in irresponsible behavior, and responsibility without authority makes people ineffective. So both must go together. Okay, so this 2 point is more important. Like authority without responsibility results in irresponsible behavior, and responsibility without authority makes people ineffective. Okay, now what is the actual definition of authority and responsibility? I have told you every single thing of the second principle. Now what actually do, what it gives the manager an authority, that uh, that manager have the authority to command to its subordinates. Like manager have subordinates, so they have authority to command. Why? Because manager has given a particular task, they have to complete the task, and for that they have the authority to do command to the subordinates for the completion of that task. Okay, so this is the work of authority, and this authority lies with respect to responsibility to the manager, that they have to complete the work. And that is the reason of accountability. Like manager have authority as well and responsibility. What it gives to the manager? The accountability of the work, whether the work is completed or not. Okay, so authority and responsibility is all with respect to the manager, that he has the authority as well as responsibility of the work to complete the work at a given time. So this is the second principle of Henry Fayol. Now come to the third principle. Third principle is your discipline. So discipline is, as you know, that discipline is one of the most important, like you can say that a criteria which everyone has to follow in the organization. Okay, so I just want to quote one thing: discipline is doing what you know needs to be done, okay, even when you don't want to do it. So this is a good line. Okay, now I just want to tell you what actually discipline is. Discipline is obedience. Okay, discipline is obedience, application, energy, behavior, and respect shown by employee. Okay, it means that if an organizations having different number of employees, if they are disciplined, it means that they are obedience, they are following rules and regulation of the company. Okay, it is of two types. First type is self-imposed discipline, and second type is command discipline. What is self-imposed discipline? That you have the discipline within yourself, that you are applying the discipline within yourself, that nobody is forcing you to do that. Okay, this is self imposed. In command discipline, manager is going to command you, and manager is going to tell you the rules and regulation and every single things with respect to the organization, so that whatever the subordinates who are working in the company, they follow that rules. So this is the third principle of Henry Fair discipline. Okay, look, here it is written that all the personnel serving in organization should be disciplined. Okay, so disciplined, this is the concept of discipline. Now move to our fourth principle. What it says, fourth principle is one of the most important of 14 principle of Henry Fair, unity of command. Okay, what unity of command says that, look, unity of command right approach is this one, this one is the wrong approach. Like if you have a company, okay, so you have like a lot of managers, but in unity of command what it says that if you have given a particular task, and for that particular task you have only a single manager, and this manager is going to command the subordinates. Okay, and these commands is like from a single manager to all the subordinates. It means that all the subordinates have only single manager. This is the right approach. Okay, in the wrong approach, you have two managers who are commanding like a different number of employees for that particular single task. So what it basically does, it creates confusion between the subordinates, that look, this manager gives different command, this manager gives different command to the same subordinate, so the same subordinate is going to be confused with respect to the task. Okay, so this is the wrong approach. Okay, this is the wrong approach, and this is the definition of unity of command, that only a single manager can command to their subordinates for a particular task. Okay, so here it is written that, look, here it is written that it means that a person should get orders, instruction from only one superior. An individual can't serve two bosses at the same time. This leads to confusion, misunderstanding and conflicts. Now this is the unity of command, one of the most important, like you can say that principle of Henry Fair, which today is also like applied in different organization. Now we move to the fifth principle of Henry Fair. What it says, it is unity of direction. Again important. What is unity of direction? Unity of direction means that whatever task is given to the particular, like a particular group, if they are going in right direction with respect to their task, this is called unity of direction, and this responsibility is taken by this manager, that no one diverts from the task. If no one diverts from the task, then it is unity of direction. Now let look to the definition. Like each group of activities with the same objective must have one head and one plan. This one head and one plan. For that all the subordinates and managers are going to work for that. Okay, unity of command talks about the reporting relationship of the personnel at all levels. Okay, unity of direction talks about functioning of organization in terms of grouping of activities. Okay, it means that what these two paragraphs says, that unity of command talks about the reporting relationship of the personnel at all levels. It means that they are working for a particular concerned single task, and unity of direction talks about functioning of organization in terms of grouping of activities. Look, they are doing the work in group of activities for sure, but their target is for a single task. So this is the unity of direction. Now move to the next principle, that is sixth principle of Henry Fair. And what sixth principle of Henry Fair says, that subordination of individual interest to general interest. Okay, so let look into the this principle. Okay, what it says, what is the actual definition? Look here, interest of the organization should take priority over individual interest. It means that individual interest have lower priority as compared to the organization priority. Okay, interest of the organization should take priority over individual interest. It means that individual have their interest for sure. If you have subordinates, they have their individual interest. If you have manager, they have their individual interest, but the organization interest must be at peak. Okay, organization interest must be at peak. So what it says that you have to take care of individual interest, and you have, it means that subordinate, and you also have to take care of manager interest. When you do so, what it actually does, that you are actually taking care of organization interest. Okay, so this is the good definition, or this is one of the best definition regarding subordination of individual interest to general interest. Now again, next, if individual and organizational interests are different, then managers must try to reconcile that. I have told you. Okay, if not, then individual interest should be sacrificed. It means that individual's interest is not at that importance as compared to the organization interest. Again, I am saying this is one of the most important, you can say that that helps you to like solve case studies question. Okay, now the last factors like laziness, ambition, selfishness, carelessness, etc. tend to reduce organization interest. Okay, so this is the sixth principle of Henry Fayol. I have told you every single thing about the individual interest to general interest subordination. Okay, so now move to the seventh principle of Henry Fayol. What is the seventh principle? Remuneration. Again, remuneration is one of the most important thing with respect to employees point of view, because they want their salary at time, they want a good salary, they want that salary so that they can accomplish their needs. Okay, so salary is important, and that is the case of remuneration. Okay, now remuneration of employees should be fair, reasonable, and satisfactory. I've told you it should provide maximum satisfaction to employees and employers. It means that every employee should be satisfied with respect to their salary. And the last one is dissatisfaction will lead to increase in employee turnover. Okay, dissatisfaction will lead to increase in employee turnover. So this is about remuneration, that salary is one of the major thing with respect to the subordinate employees, manager, which are actually working in an organization. When you give them salary, they are motivated and they do your work. Okay, now move to the eighth principle of Henry Fayol. What is the eighth principle of Henry Fayol? Again, this is one of the most important. Decentralization and centralization and decentralization. Look here, this one is centralization, this one is decentralization organization. Here in centralization, the power is centric. It means that there is only one authority. Okay, there is only a single authority in centralization, which actually gives commands to everyone. But in decentralization, what it actually does is that the power is going to be distributed. It means that this president is going to give his sum of the powers to these three these three categories. Okay, and they have these three categories are going to report to the president after the completion of the task. So this is the decentralization of organization. And in centralization organization, only this president gives commands to all three, and they just have to follow the command of this president. So, okay, so centralization and decentralization concept of Henry Fayol is one of the most important concept. Now let discuss in precisely. Everything which goes to increase the importance of subordinates role is decentralization. I have told you, everything which goes to increase the importance of subordinate role is decentralization, and everything which goes to decrease it is centralization. It means if you are giving importance to your subordinates, it is decentralization. And if you are giving importance to the president only, if you are not giving importance to your subordinates, then it is centralization. It means power is centralized. In a smaller company firms, centralization is usually observed, but in larger firms a series of intermediaries are required. Okay, its degree varies due to character of manager, his moral worth, reliability of his subordinates, and condition of the business. So this is the complete description of centralization and decentralization. I have told you every single thing of centralization and decentralization, that how power is going to be distributed. If power is going to be distributed, it is decentralization. If power is going to be concentric with respect to one person, one head, one single unit, then it is centralized power. Okay, so now move to the ninth principle of Henry Fayol, scalar chain. So this is also, again, this is important, scalar chain. So what actually scalar chain is says that, actually scalar chain says that if you have an organization, let's suppose you have an organization. Okay, so there are three levels in the organization: top level, middle level, and low level. In scalar chain, what this principle says that at top level there are like chief executive officer, board of directors. In middle level you have managers, and in lower level you have subordinates. Okay, so what this scalar chain principle says that the command should be in unidirectional. Like if the command is going from top to low, it is going to be like passed from top to middle, then middle to low. It is not going to be directly passed from top to low. Okay, this is wrong in scalar chain. It means that the command must be like flow from top to middle, middle to low, or the command must flow from low to middle, middle to top. Okay, vice versa. So this is the exact definition of a scalar chain, that command must flow from in a hierarchy, you can say that, from top to middle to low, or low to middle to top. Okay, so this is the scalar chain. Now let discuss precisely. There should be a scalar chain of authority and of communication ranging from highest to the lowest. I have told you. Okay, each communication going up or coming down must follow through each position in the line of authority. I have tell you every single thing about this also. Fayol also suggested the concept of gangplank. Okay, Henry Fayol, the father of modern management, also like suggested the concept of gangplank. What it suggests, that it suggested that the scalar chain can be short circuited in special cases when rigid following of the scalar chain can get detrimental to the organization. It means that you can it means that in special cases the scalar chain can be break. Like if this is the hierarchy, then it can break to F, and then it can shift to P, and then you again follow the same hierarchy. So this is the concept of gangplank, which is given by Henry Fayol, and this is the concept of a scalar chain. Again, look, in a scalar chain, again I am saying that it follows hierarchy from top to middle to low, or low to middle to top. Okay, so this is the ninth principle of Henry Fayol. Now come to the 10th principle of Henry Fayol, is order. What order says that this principle relates to the arrangement of things and people. It means that this principle relates to the arrangement of things and people. It means that every single employee should be at correct place. Every single thing should be at correct place, whatever it is. Okay, whatever it is, it should follow order. It should follow order. Either it is manager, either it is like a board of directors, or either it is subordinates. Everything is applied. Every category is being applied to this order. Okay, like every single thing, files, you can say that, computers work, every single thing with respect to order. Now here you see there should be a place for everything, and everything should be in place. Okay, this is good. Likewise, right man should be in right place. It means that uh, whoever employees that are working in the organization, they must have to position at the right place according to their qualification. Okay, now bigger the organization, more difficult the order. Yes, this is all true. The larger the organization, you have larger the employees, and you have difficult difficult to give a particular work with respect to their specialization, so it's being difficult to handle, you can say that. So order is must according to Henry Fayol. Okay, Henry Fayol's 10th principle. Now move to the next principle of Henry Fayol. What it says: equity. Again, this is important. Equity means equal. Equity means equal. You have to treat your employees equal. For example, you see here, this is equality and this is equity. Okay, so what equality says that all the three employees are going to get the opportunity to saw a match. This is equality. Okay, now this is equality. Now what equity says that every single employee of the organization is being treated as a equal with respect to their task. Okay, with respect to their task. So that in this example, what equities does that the one who is not able to see the match, this person is going to help this person, and this person also is going to help this person, so that it actually watch the match. So this is the difference between equality and equity. Okay, now let's discuss precisely. It is a combination of justice and kindness. I have told you, equity in treatment and behavior is liked by everyone. Okay, it brings loyalty to the organization for sure. Its application requires good sense, experience, and good nature. Okay, so this is regarding equality. I have told you every single thing regarding the 11th principle of Henry Fayol. Now move to the 12th principle of Henry Fayol. What it says that initiative. Initiative means what 13th principle says that initiative. Okay, what initiative do is, this is the 13th principle of Henry Fayol, initiative. Now what initiative do is that managers should encourage their subordinates to take initiative within the limits of authority and discipline. Okay, now initiative is concerned with thinking out and execution of a plan. It encourages energy and zeal. What is the basic definition of initiative? That each and every subordinate which are working in the organization, like they have the independence that they can take initiative to to accomplish the work. Okay, in the organization they have given this independence that they can do the work by taking initiative, by giving their ideas to the managers or to the higher authority. Okay, so this is the initiative. What it actually does, it actually boosts up the confidence of the subordinate or person who are working in the organization. Okay, look, managers should encourage their subordinates to take initiative within the limits of authority and discipline. The only thing they have to take care that they did not flout the discipline or authority. Okay, did not break the rules. Now the 14th principle of Henry Fayol, what it says: Esprit de corps. Esprit de corps. Esprit de corps. It means that unity. Esprit de corps means unity. This is the principle of union is strength. This is the principle of union is strength. The manager must encourage esprit de corps among its employees. Every employee in the organization must consider him as a part of team and try to achieve the team goal, because team contribution is always better than the individual contribution. It means that unity is required. in the organization, and that is aspirate their crops. It means that whoever the employees who are working in the organization, they must, they must collaborate with each other. That is the concept of unity, and that is the concept of union, and that is the principle of aspirate their crops, which is the 14th principle of Henry Fair. So this is the last principle. So I have told you every single thing regarding the 14th principle of Henry Fair. This is it. Look, I have told you 1 to 14 all the principle. What you have to do, what this video is going to give you, this video is going to give you to help to solve all the question regarding the case studies. Okay, so this is the general video, I can say that, with respect to management and ethics for Henry Fair's 14th principle. Henry Fair is also called as father of modern management. Okay, so this is it now. This is it now. I am going to end this video. Thank you to listening my video. If you have liked this video, or if you have seen the video and if you are liking this video, please do like, please do share this video at different platform, so that this video reach to the maximum of the needs. And please do subscribe the channel, because once you subscribe the channel, you are going to get the best of the contents of this channel. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you. This is Raj Deepak Singh. And if you have, again lastly, if you have any queries, feel free to ask in comment section. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is Raj Deepak Singh. Thank you.